Hello, welcome to Dungeon Rose Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. So, my next comic book haul video was not comic book haul video. Sorry. My next showcase was supposed to be X-Men Teams, but I'm like, let's not do Marvel to Marvel, especially since my first couple showcases was Marvel, DC, and then random. So I was thinking, okay, let's do DC again, and then we'll do another random collection. I don't know what we're gonna do for, after this one, because it's like I guess we could do if I could just show off my Dynamite books, or I don't know, we'll see. Not Dynamite, Vertical books would be cool, even though that's technically DC, but it's whatever. So we're gonna start off with, so today we're doing Green Lantern, mostly because outside of Batman, Justice League, and Superman, I don't have a lot of books from random characters. This one, this one will have to do, which Green Lantern's probably one of my favorite superheroes, or at least when I first started collecting trades, they were, because I was a huge fan of Jeff Johns, because Jeff Johns, Jeff Johns, how do I say this? Jeff Johns was probably one of the people who first got me into comic books, because we had this thing at our high school where we had to read books and shit. So I would just we had to do book reports, and they had graphic novels. So I was being lazy asshole that I am, I would grab a graphic novel. And most of our graphic novels were DC books written by Jeff Johns, JSA and whatnot. So when I first started collecting trades, obviously I would pick up Jeff Johns books, and Jeff Johns is a cool guy, because he's a comic book fan, but he's a comic book fan that's into the less popular characters. He'll he writes good books on some of the lesser known characters, and then we'll make them powerhouses, where you'll read their books and you're like, man, this guy's the most powerful superhero ever, or superhero team ever, with JSA and Green Lantern, the Flash, and Aquaman. He made it in his run on Aquaman. He made him seem very powerful, but then when he writes characters that he obviously doesn't Batman and Legion of Superheroes, he doesn't write, he doesn't write them too well. from what I don't know if he hates Legion of Superheroes. I watched a review once of Final Crisis, Legion of Superheroes tie-in, which I want to pick up that book. I forget what it's called, but it's apparently I read a review, and we're by a Legion of Superheroes fan, and he was saying, wow, he kills off so many characters, you can tell he's not a Legion of Superheroes fan. Well, sometimes when they have to kill off characters, it's from the company makes that decision. So it was probably a thing where they were killing off characters to make room for new characters or whatever, right? That happens a lot. A lot of the deaths in Infinity Crisis, or Crisis on Infinite Earths, was their way of cleaning house in DC, right? Yeah. So let's start off with our first book. I have to walk my dog in half an hour, so we gotta pick this up. So the first book is obviously Green Lantern Rebirth, which is the first book in the Jeff Johns Green Lantern run, where he brings Hal Jordan, Green Lantern, back from the dead, and you have amazing art from Ethan Van Sciver, who man, like Ethan Skyver. When I would read these books and I would try to picture what Ethan Skyver looked like, I assumed he would be like an old German guy based on his art, but no, he's like, well, he's not that old. He's old now, but like, you know, back then he wouldn't have been that old. Huh. Sorry, I was just looking at the back. Apparently, like, there's a Superman Legion of Superheroes book with Jeff Johns and Gary Frank. Gary Frank has some cool art, so I might pick that up. Richard Donner and Eric Powell. Holy shit. Yeah. The Jeff Johns Superman run was okay. I wasn't a huge fan of it, but you know. Yeah. So I actually collected a bunch of these books. The next book is Green Lantern No Fear. This is Jeff Johns, Ethan Skyver, Darwin Cook, Carlos Pacheco, and Simon Bianchi. And you have this awesome cover by Alex Ross. So I think this is technically the first book in the series. Because this was like, I think, if I remember correctly, Green Lantern Rebirth was you know, a miniseries, which has an introduction by Brad Metzer, who I'm not a huge fan of this book. Yeah, so is this the one where like he fights like a tiger, like the king shark or whatever? Who's going to be the new Suicide Squad movie? Oh no, he's fighting the Manhunter robots, which they were pretty cool in the Justice League cartoon. Oh, yeah, King Shark's in this book. Yeah, he fights King Shark. That was a pretty cool fight. So the next book is Revenge of the Green Lanterns, and looks like Green Arrow's in this book as well. Which I know people who hate Green Arrow and love Green Arrow. I'm indifferent to Green Arrow. I like his costume. He was cool. He was cool in the Justice League cartoon, but like, you know, or not. He wasn't in the first Justice League cartoon. He was in the second one. And what was it called? Justice League Unlimited. Let's. It's been a while since I read these books, so I would tell you the prices for these books, but like, you know, it would be like, it's like, what's the point? What's the point? Because they're not gonna be like, you know, they're probably reprinted and they're gonna at least charge you $20. Mogul's in this book. Okay, I think I saw Batman as well. Oh, the Rocket Reds, the Rocket Reds are in this book. That's cool. Is that Justice League International? Or is that like a... I don't know, this book looks cool. By the way, the whole point of these showcases is like, if you guys want me to like review any of these books, let me know in the comments. That's the whole point of them. That way, and it's cheaper than if you guys just ask me to review some random book and I have to go get it. So it's another way of saving money. So that, and like, you know, so I eventually want to reread these books someday, to, like, you know, and review them. So the next book I never read because I fucked up and got the wrong book. The next book in the Jeff Johns Green Lantern run was Green Lantern Wanted Hal Jordan, and I messed up and picked up this book instead, which is a very thick book. Is Green Lantern War of the Green Lanterns. So I fucked up huge. Is this a Ethan? This doesn't look like Ethan Van Sciver. This book looks cool. So I guess there's a civil war in the Green Lanterns. I don't know. Yeah, the next book. Yeah, I'm a retard because this is like what? Let me double check. This is like the 11th book in the run. This is the 11th book in the run. When I was trying to when I needed to pick up the 4th book, I picked up the 11th book in the run. I'm such a retard. Oh my god. Yeah. So my next book, I already reviewed this book, is Grant Morrison, Leon Sharp's Green Lantern Intergalactic Lawman, Volume 1, which this book came out in like 2019. I think the Grant Morrison run started in 2018. This was a really cool book. And the art is amazing, and it has this like really cool like 90s like art style to it, and like all the costumes in this book has like a 90s feel to it as well. I really fucking hate the Jay Lee cover though. That's just a variant though. That's not the cover on the book. The cover on the book is Liam Sharp, which his art style kind of reminds me of Ethan from Skyrim, who I think is banned from like DC Comics. He made one too many like Hitler jokes, I guess, because he put out like what did he do? Like he got kicked out of DC Comics because he made like a Sinestro book or whatever, and it was like the subtitle was My Struggle, which is a reference to Hitler's book Mein Kampf, because that's what it means in German, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, so like is that how he got kicked out of DC? I don't even fucking know, man. And then now he's a big grifter, which is like, dude, like, I don't know. That's the thing. If you're a conservative, you can't write comics, too. So that's another problem. So like, yeah, if he is like a real conservative, and that's not a grifter. But yeah. So like he couldn't. I bet like despite Skyrim being this amazing artist, but because he's like right wing, he couldn't even get a job at IDW, which is like one of the worst. I don't know if that's the worst comic publisher out there, but I would say of them, that's like the first tier is like DC Marvel, and like the second tier. People think it's DC Marvel and Image. No. It's DC Marvel. Then it's like Image. Maybe Dynamite. Yeah, I would say Dynamite because they have like some really good talent there. They have Alex Ross. Sorry. They have Alex Ross doing their covers. And then you have like Valiant, IDW. IDW might be bigger than Valiant, which sucks because like IDW. Like, Valiant at least has their own original characters. Like, what does IDW and books and publishers like Titans and IDW just have this, like, buy properties and make comics of it? Valiant at least, like, Valiant was trying to be, like, the new DC or Marvel, which they were, like, I would say, back in the day, it was, like, DC, Marvel, Image, and Valiant. Now Valiant is who knows on the fucking list, man. Which I need to pick up. I don't need to pick up. I need to review the Valiant book I got, because like I reviewed like 2 Valiant books in a row that were shitty. So I was like, I got so pissed off. I'm like, if my third review of Valiant Comics book isn't good, I don't care if it's if it's not at least good, I'm done fucking buying Valiant books. So it's like, it's all riding on Shadow Man Volume 1 Birthrights by some guy I don't even know his name. Some guy who's like, I never even heard of. So yeah. So the last book we have for our Green Lantern showcase It is technically not a Green Lantern book, but it is. It's like it's Green Lantern Corps, which was a pretty cool book actually. It's basically stories with different characters in the Green Lantern Corps. Gardner is like the main character in this book, and I think what's his name's in here as well. Kyle Rayner, who I hate Kyle Rayner. Oh my god, he's like the Tim Drake of Green Lanterns. No, he isn't in this book. Okay, oh god, I fucking hate Kyle Rayner. And this book is written by Dave Gibbons, who did the art for Watchmen. So they let him write the book for some reason, and like, yeah, it was pretty good. So, and Patrick Gleason does the art, and the art's okay. And there's like a story in here where, like, you know, oh, Kilowog's also in the book, by the way. So in the book, yeah, like, oh, Gibbons does some of the covers. That's cool. Yeah, like, there's a story in here where, like, Guy Gardner goes on vacation and he's hanging out with these two hot cat girls, right? And then he gets in a big fight with some dude. This is a pretty cool book, man. It's a pretty cool book. Though I don't know if this is still in print, but I don't know. Check it out. So that's all my Green Lantern books. I'm going to also review not the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie, but the animated movie Green Lantern First Flight, which is where, like, Hal Jordan is voiced by Christopher Meloni, who you'll know from, he played, what's his name, Chris, was it Chris Keller in Oz? Something like that. And he was also Elliot, Detective Elliot from Law and Order SVU. So, oh, and he's in this new TV show called Happy, which was based off a Grant Morrison comic book. So I haven't seen that show. But yeah, I don't know. I've seen this movie back in the day. It was pretty good. I can't wait to rewatch it. Though the special features for this movie sucks. They couldn't give you a couple episodes from some of the cartoons that had Green Lantern in it. God fucking damn it. Alright guys, that's it for this showcase. The next showcase, we're just gonna show off I'm just gonna show off my vertical books. Alright guys, that's it. Peace.